Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. This is going to be a review of the new CoolerMaster MM712. New wireless mouse from CoolerMaster, fits small to large hands, 3370 sensor, great optical switches, great performance in game, something that really took me by surprise at a price point of only $69.99. Let's get into it. In this segment of the video, I want to go over what predated the MM712. We had the MM710, we had the MM711, and I think as a mouse enthusiast in the community at the time, not a reviewer yet, I probably went to the ends of the earth to try to get my MM710 and MM711 to be in a format that was usable in game. It always seemed that there was some sort of build quality issue with Mouse 1 or Mouse 2. I think I did a tinfoil mod at one point. I did a zip tie mod at one point. I tried so many things to get a decent build quality copy. I went to Best Buy 7, 8, 9 times to try to find a copy that felt good out of the box. And nothing really seemed to do the trick. I would get a decent copy, and then after a few weeks, I would have an issue again with Mouse 1 and Mouse 2. The plastic over the buttons, the switches, just feeling either too mushy or getting stuck. And that issue would either carry over from Mouse 1 to Mouse 2 or both at the same time. It was just a pain in the butt to try to find a copy that actually worked. And I'm happy to say that with the MM712 now testing 2 different copies, I have 0 issues with Mouse 1 and Mouse 2 on this mouse. I think the build quality and the feel of the optical switches is extremely exceptional for $69.99. It's got a 3370 sensor, which is still one of the top sensors on the market today. I had no issue with the performance of my sensor. It is a forward play sensor. I felt that felt really nice in game. It was a nice change. It felt great. And I have been absolutely enjoying the shape of this mouse, just like I enjoyed the shape of the 10 and the 11. The main difference being I have a mouse in a usable format that I don't have to worry about crashing out on me with Mouse 1 and Mouse 2 feeling absolutely horrific. And I am absolutely loving my experience with this mouse in game. And that takes us to build quality. In terms of the build quality of this mouse, if you are a death gripper, you do not have to worry about your grip activating accidentally Mouse 4 or Mouse 5. In terms of the scroll wheel, that is the only thing I wish was more like a TTC Gold. It's a little bit too light for me, but it does feel good. Mouse 3 is spammable. Mouse 1 and Mouse 2, those optical switches feel light, tactile, poppy, crispy. Super light, though, in a sense that you might even accidentally activate them in-game. My only issue that I had to change was my ring finger was kind of pushing down on the mouse towards the bottom right of Mouse 2. You can see there's a little bit of a ledge, which would accidentally activate my ADS in first-person shooters. I was able to correct that, not a big deal. In terms of side flex, there is virtually none. Pre- and post-travel, there's a bit of pre-travel, virtually no post-travel. Everything feels very good here. The only thing I did change were the mouse skates, which are a little bit thin out of the box. Great thing is they're the same dimensions as the MM711 skates, so if you already have some, you can pop them on. I ordered mine from Lethal Gaming Gear. They are already available for the MM711, of course, and they feel great on the MM712. You have your DPI button on the bottom of the mouse, again, 3370 sensor, you have dongle storage, and then you have your 2.4 gigahertz wireless and your Bluetooth. And of course, the DPI change does correspond with a RGB LED indicator here above the power button. In terms of the software, guys, you are going to want to download the CoolerMaster Master Plus because there will be a firmware update when you first plug in the mouse. At least I had one. You can turn off sleep mode, you can lower the low power mode, which I think are pretty important things. One of the most important things, though, is you're going to want to come to buttons and mouse combo. I would disable. You might be able to find some use out of this, but when right-clicking, which is my ADS and Apex, and then trying to ping somebody with mouse 3 down, it actually did change my DPI as a mouse combo, which certainly was no bueno in game. You have your USB polling rate. It comes stock on 1000. You can change your DPI up here and your profiles. And then you have your left and right button response time, which you can set to whatever it is you want to set. And your liftoff distance, which does come stock on low. In terms of lighting, you can also turn off the RGB if you want to. And even though the mouse has that forward play sensor and not a 3395, there's absolutely nothing wrong with the 3370. It is extremely well performing. Everything feels snappy here, and I like the fact that being a smaller mouse, I have that extra inner hand maneuverability, and because that hump and booty on the backside of the mouse is more rounded out, I get that extra added level of comfort as well while I'm playing, which for me makes for a very fun playing experience. And to get into some size and shape comparisons, I do like busting out the G Pro Superlight just because it's something that we can all relate to. We've all kind of used at one point in time the G Pro Wireless or the G Pro Superlight. You can see it's not nearly as long as the G Pro Superlight. It's not nearly as potato-like. You have some nice curves on both the left side and right side, and you do have that hump that really does come up and peak towards the back side of the mouse, filling out this general area of your hand near the back. Something that feels very good compared to the G Pro Superlight and different. So you can see if you don't like how high and potato-ish the G Pro Superlight is and you wanted something a little bit smaller, but something that kind of still has a similar width where you grip the mouse. In that regard, it's somewhat similar to the width of the G Pro Superlight and feels very good. It is very different than a G303, but if you like having that portion of the mouse kind of fill that backside of your hand, you do kind of get that with the MM712. So if that's something that you like having, you might like swapping to the MM712 if you were looking for something flatter, smaller, and a little bit more maneuverable than the extremely large G303 Shroud Edition. If you do have other mice that you prefer, like the Viper Mini, the Glorious Series 1 is basically a clone of the Viper Mini. You can see it next to the MM712. MM712, again, feels a little bit smaller in length, but a lot nicer in grip width, and that back half filling out your hand more than the Series 1 and the Viper Mini. And then when you get to the Vancer Caster, or even something like a Starlight 12 Small or Medium, again, the grip width feels more substantial than the Vancer, and again, that hump just fills your hand out quite a bit more. So a very comfortable experience, yet an experience, again, that because of its small length, you do get some nice inner hand maneuverability, depending on the size of your hands, with its overall length. It feels good, it plays good, and I really am enjoying it. I can't convey that enough. Again, $69.99. Solid mouse. That is it for this review, guys. There's one area that I forgot to mention, and that is weight balance. The weight is a little bit heavier near the RGB side of the mouse. I wish that was a little bit different, but you can always pop in there, take out the RGB, see if you can clean it up a little bit and make it more balanced if you really want to. I think the RGB looks kind of cool. I'm not going to really mess with it. I think it feels great, perfectly passable. And the mouse for me is definitely going to be certified fresh. I think it's a great mouse at $59.99. And it does come with grips. The grips are kind of poo-poo. And it does come with a dongle extender and the dongle, of course. You guys have probably seen the few items in the background. These are all IEMs, and we have 2 keyboards from Acco and the Series 1 from Glorious. This is basically going to be an area of all the things pending review. So we've got the Yanyan Canon, we have SimGot IEMs, the Dunu Studio SA6, Dunu Kima, the Rapco HookX HBB, the Truthier Hexa, and the Moondrop Void headphones, and again, 2 keyboards from Acco. So you guys can kind of get a future sneak peek in what we have pending review in the backdrop here, moving into the future. We've got quite a lot. Thank you guys for coming out, checking out the reviews. I hope it helped. Hopefully, if you guys pick up the MM712, the build quality is as good as the one that I have on my copy. I'll see you guys in the next review. Peace.